Turn it on, leave it on with Sean and RJ right here on The Fan.
Kept alive by the Stars. Here's Robertson, looks to back it in. He scores! A hat trick and a 4-3 lead for the Dallas Stars.
Good morning, Metroplex. That is how we start the Tolo Tuesday. Just a reminder, it is Tuesday here on Sean and RJ. Back together again on DFW Sports Station 105.3 The Fan. What's it been, a month?
It feels like a long time. It has been. It's been at least 3 weeks. At least.
Yeah.
Because you were, last day was May 3rd?
Yes.
Something like that. And then, what's today? The 28th? Oh, God, yeah. Almost a month.
Almost a month.
Missed me? Missed you?
You did?
I did.
Why?
I missed.
Tell me how. Tell me all the ways.
I love seeing how Peyton actually does work when you're around.
So much work.
Makes me feel good.
So
Makes me feel good
Choppy-
about the youth in America.
Choppy's back from Mexico. Pepe is back. What sounded like an epic time in Vegas, Peyton Russell?
So good. I think we were in bed no earlier than 4 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Every night. You guys were in the 6 a.m. club when we went to bed. I got a notification that Twitch was starting. I said, what? It's 3 o'clock out here. It's like, no, it's 5:30 back in DFW.
What day did you get back, Peyton?
Saturday night. Got in about around 7:30.
And you got back on Friday?
Yeah, I think it was Friday. I'm all these days. They don't.
Yeah.
They
Oh, no,
don't
when you're,
work.
I always said to my wife, like, how do you not know what day it is? And then you're off for a week or two, and you
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Like, what's it matter? Doesn't matter what day it is.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, my son asked me if I was going to go to his practice today. I'm thinking it's Monday. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. And then I look at the calendar. I was like, wait a second. We're going to the game tonight. So I was like, I can't make it. I won't be able to make it.
You're going to...
Game 4.
Oh, my.
Oh, yes.
How'd you work that out?
The great Jason Newman, Bennett Glazer,
Nice.
hooked it up. It was kind of a late, wasn't a planned thing. But so yeah, we're gonna go tonight.
All right, all the tales from vacation are coming up. We have a Dave Matthews Band ticket giveaway. Pepe just informed me of that, but we start with the team who took back the home ice. The Dallas Stars fall behind 2-0. They storm back to outscore the Oilers on the road 5-1 the rest of the way. 5-3 Stars are up 2-1.
Yeah, this was I don't think anybody thought after that first period, first couple of minutes really, that it was going to end like this. But they stepped up defensively, and it looked like Edmonton just did not come out with the same aggression in the second period. The Stars had all the aggression, and the Stars had all the speed really in that second period. It was a much different game. It was a tale of two games really.
Jason Robertson was someone that we put the microscope on last year.
Yeah.
Where are you? Are you going to show up? Are you playing timid? Do you not want any part of it? And last night, he's the hero, completes his first career playoff hat trick using the old bank for the eventual game winner. Just go off the back of an Oiler.
Yep, that's off the back of their goalie. Which that's kind of a newish. But you'll see this, and we saw the Stars do this. I think it was in the Vegas series where Dodonov just shot one in from the side and went right up the back of the goalie, right off the helmet. Like that happens now. Like the guys will take that chance. They'll try to go, high from that short side, or they'll try to bank it in and just really muscle it in from behind the net like that. And Robertson was able to bank that one in.
What was it? 3 goals in 3 minutes and 33 seconds?
Quick.
It was something
very
like
quick.
that. Just
Yeah.
boom, bam, boom.
Yeah.
I'm trying to check in on the end of the Boston-Indiana series to scout the Dallas Mavericks NBA Finals opponent, and 3 in 333. That's what it is after Wyatt Johnston gave them the lead.
Yeah, and that was just a flurry, a rush that Edmonton had no answer for. And it's not like they were, trying to give up goals. They just had no answer. And this is it's a weird. If you were to tell me the Stars are going to be up 2-1 and they can't score on the power play to save their lives, that have been like, there's no chance. But that's where they are. They're up 2-1, and they really haven't even got their power play going in the series.
A lot of hockey people pick the Stars to cruise through this. Like this is going to be their easiest matchup of the playoffs. Did you feel that same way as Kevin Hagelin, Chris Strong, who was in for Pepe, all went Stars in 5? Still alive.
Yeah, it is still alive. I didn't think that this was going to be a super easy one, only because Edmonton's going to have. Now, all these
tougher
teams,
than Colorado, tougher than Vegas.
I didn't think it was going to be tougher than I thought. Colorado was going to be the tougher one. That turned out to kind of not totally be the case. Honestly, this team again has the best player on the ice. You can argue they have the two best players on the ice, and that's what's difficult. The thing that the Stars have that Edmonton doesn't, Stars have ways to get you from all different spots when it comes to scoring. They can score from a million different players. Edmonton really gets their scoring from about 5 guys, and that's a problem for them in the postseason.
The 3 goals were the quickest trio in Stars postseason history since moving here in 1993. Whoa. Here's Robo, who had one of the 3. Well, he had 3. I'm just talking about in that span. 3 for the night. Jason Robertson on the hat trick.
I mean, it's a lot of work with our goalies in practice. I mean, we learn stuff. I mean, I can credit my goalie coach on that one. So, but I mean, I'm just making a play out there. I don't know if I would have done that if I didn't score 2 goals. So.
And then the Dallas Stars win again on the road, taking a page from the Texas Rangers on their way to the World Championship.
Best road team in the league all year. Best road team. And they were able to upend a Colorado team that was the best home team in the league all year, and they continue to do it. That's a rowdy place, too, Edmonton. Edmonton is a lunatic fan base. Very, very rabid. What else is there to do up there? Minus 38 Celsius. They are so cold, Celsius and Fahrenheit meet. That's how cold it is up there in the wintertime. It's Celsius and Fahrenheit basically are the same temperature.
Pepe, thoughts, and how much were you able to take in the Stars while at the tables?
Man, it was so nice to be in the middle of dinner while the Stars were happening. They went to double overtime in game 1, and it was only 9:30 out in Vegas. So I was actually happy to finally get an overtime game that wasn't, almost midnight here. But yeah, Choppy said it earlier, the power play, because early on in the Vegas and Colorado series, it seemed like the power play was on the Stars' favor. Like, that's why they were winning games, was because they could cash on the power play. And Edmonton's just so freaking good on the power play. But somehow the penalty kill, and somehow the Stars were able to gain momentum, down 2-0 quickly early. But, Jason Robertson finally showed up.
The winner of Game 3 in a best-of-7 NHL series goes on to win it 69% of the time.
Whoa.
And that includes 76% of the time in the conference finals.
Wow.
59-18 is the record. So the Stars having a 76% chance based on history to move on to the final round.
Yeah, I wonder how close the percentage is for Game 3 winners in a tied series and Game 5 winners in a tied series. Like, it sounds like in the NHL, there's a correlation there.
Should be a higher number for Game 5 winner.
You would think so. Yeah, you would absolutely think so. But how much higher can it get than 76%? That's super high. So, book your tickets for wherever.
Meanwhile, over to the East, Rangers-Panthers. How are you looking at that series? New York leads 2-1 after they got shut out 3-0 in the opener.
Yeah, I think the Rangers are obviously the better team. I mean, they've been a better team all year. That's the series that I would like to see is Stars-Rangers. That is the 2 best teams throughout, from a points perspective this year.
Take a little East Coast trip.
Take a look.
Boston, New York.
Boston and New York. You can just, just go on up there. We can just stay in Hartford and just drive back and forth each game.
877-881-1053 is the Franklin Franco Injury Attorney text line. Bobby Roberto Belt, happy for the return of Choppy because he gets to come in here late like usual at 6 o'clock when we really open up into the Dallas Mavericks. Are they getting some help on the way to try to close out Minnesota? Choppy will be there. We have a Dave Matthews ticket giveaway. Let's talk about the possible opponent of the Mavericks closing it out last night in the Boston Celtics. The evil umpire is officially gone, and Bill Walton passes away. It's all how we start. The Tolo Tuesday edition. Glad you're waking up with us, the entire squad. Back together again right here on The Fan.
Tatum pushes off, steps back, 3 in the air, no good. Rebound, Drew Holiday, 4 seconds to go. Kick out Jalen. Can they get to him to commit the foul? They cannot, and it's over. It's over. The Boston Celtics swarm the floor.
Final call on Boston Radio, Groundhog's Day for this series, as the Celtics misleading 4-0 as the Indiana Pacers should have been up 2-1 in this series. You can make an argument they should be up 3-1 after last night, but Jaylen Brown wins the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and Boston is back in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I heard driving in some national guys say that Jaylen Brown actually, there's people talking in the league that he's the best player on the team. We heard that at all?
I asked it a couple of years ago. I love Jaylen Brown. Fantastic two-way player. He was salty. He did not make All-NBA defensive first team. I believe that was his problem last night in the post. And there's been some questions about Jason Tatum not taking the crown of the next face of the league. But I don't know, man. In a fourth quarter, if you told me that Jason Tatum was going to get less shots than Jaylen Brown, I would have zero problem with it. Jaylen Brown is a baller. Both of them averaged 30 for the series.
Yeah, I mean it's a Kyrie Luka situation. Although Kyrie Luka are I think are the better players. It's kind of the same thing, and they're doing this, without Porzingis, and for a large part without Porzingis. Of course, they've gone up against teams that have not had their top dog either.
Yep.
Which has been, kind of a lucky break for them, having to go through the East without having to go through the Jimmy Butlers and Donovan Mitchell and Halliburton here for a little bit.
Some people are wondering if this is the easiest run to the NBA Finals ever. We have a little research project for that. And then the follow-up question is it going to hurt them not being tested? Are all these close games against Indiana, Boston, just taking their foot off the gas, or are they not invincible and going to automatically win the championship like many people thought this entire year?
I think they're partly bored. There was a point in this playoff, I think you were out. They were 15-15 in their last 30 home playoff games. That's not good. That's not good. That's a breaking news. That's not good. But it's like I think they're bored in a sense. And in this case, I think that really is with this series. You're right. They should be down or should have been down 2-1. I think they're just toying with Indiana. They should be playing the Knicks. They should be playing Giannis and the Bucks, right? They didn't have to go through those teams because, the Knicks got upset and Giannis didn't even play. So it was a very strange run. It's very JV. They played a JV playoff schedule to get here.
We are live on the Fan Cam, Twitch, and YouTube. Thanks for being a Tolo. That stands for Turn It On, Leave It On. The sports story that has taken over is the former Boston Celtic Bill Walton passing away at the age of 71 from cancer.
I didn't know he was that sick.
No.
I had heard that he had cancer, but you hear that, and it could be stage 1 and just getting it removed, a little treatment. It could be really, really bad. This obviously was much more progressed than any of us knew. This guy was a treat.
You talk about living a life.
Yes.
Check.
He lived. I mean, he was such a wild card on the mic. I thought he was. People nowadays know him as this goofball on TV. He was an elite announcer back on NBC.
Well, some people thought he was a little bit of a joke. Everything was the greatest.
Yes.
And, like the very descriptive ways that, like he was reading a haiku during a game on the NBA on NBC.
His ability to use words was just he had such a hold over the English language, and his delivery I loved. I loved his delivery. And he was somebody that when you would go to Radio Row for the Final Four, he was there every year. And he would go on. I mean, that's not nearly as many stations that go to that as they go to the Super Bowl. So there was enough that he could do every single one. And he came on every single one. He was awesome. You could not have a clock. You get one question and all of a sudden it's 10 minutes later. It's crazy. But he had his way with words. Taught me about cash, cars, condos, the 3 C's of recruiting.
Oh, he did?
That's what he said. He said the 3 C's of recruiting: cash, cars, condos.
He was straight up lying to his idol, John Wooden, when Wooden asked him if he was smoking marijuana. And he's like, no. One of the other teammates was like, yeah. And they had that kid off the team. And that was one of the, biggest shocks and upsets when UCLA ultimately lost. But Walton was like, no, coach, I have no idea what you're talking about. As he's put up there right with Kareem or Lou as the greatest college basketball centers of all time. Then, of course, injuries in Portland, won a championship. Do yourself a favor, watch his 30 for 30. They were replaying it yesterday. I think it's a 3-part series. I watched it when it first came out. Watch that and get a greater understanding for this guy's life, because it does take 3 parts to tell all of it.
Bob Ryan, who's like a basketball,
curmudgeon. Oh,
yes, but historian. I mean, he's a notebook, man.
Yeah.
He says Bill's the greatest basketball player ever. Like, and just like I'm sorry, in his prime when he was healthy, he was the greatest. He would have been. The Trailblazers did something nobody does. They went from not making the playoffs to winning the championship in the first year. Nobody does that, right? Yeah. We talked about, the Thunder didn't do it. Even the Heat didn't do it, for crying out loud. Like, nobody does that. Shaq and Kobe didn't do it the first time out. You've got to kind of find ways to win, and you got to learn how to lose. And you got to learn how to win. And they just went right through it. And then they were going to win it the next year. They had the best team in the league the following year. He wins the MVP, and then he hurts his foot in the playoffs, and then wind up losing. And they were going to win the whole thing again.
Did you watch any of his 30 for 30?
I watched like part 1 and 2. I think I missed part 3. Look, his life story is just tremendous.
Bill Walton, not even knowing that he was drafted first overall. A little clip from ESPN.
On the day of the draft, I was backpacking, and I had run out of food. So I hitchhiked into the grocery store, and the checkout person said, "Hey, Bill, I just heard on the radio that you were drafted number 1 by the Blazers." I was ready. I was ready for the NBA. I thought.
Mr. Bill Walton, and now you can start and do whatever you wish to do.
Painfully shy as well. Wanted no part of the attention at all.
He didn't. He wanted to play basketball and smoke some weed and listen to Grateful Dead. That's basically what he wanted to do. He wanted nothing to do with anything that came with talking to the media, which is ironic because he became this guy who was in the media. Yeah, that's funny how that happens. Like, some guys will just not want to talk to the media at all, and all of a sudden, then they go into the media world after that, and that's what Bill Walton did.
The entire baseball world was celebrating yesterday. Not a Rangers game, as RJ tweeted, but Angel Hernandez is retiring.
Listen, there's no better way for me to celebrate Major League Baseball than to be able to watch the next 130 games or 20 games, whatever it is, without Angel Hernandez around. I can't think of a better thing to do, because this guy was the absolute worst. Everybody loved him as a person. Everybody says he's one of the greatest guys ever. That he was just super nice and honestly, he probably was, if you go back to the 70s, a fine umpire, because they didn't have the technology they have now to show how bad he was. Because some of those strike zones that Greg Maddux threw to were just worse than Angel Hernandez. But get him out of the league.
And why would this be effective immediately? He's just like, no, I'm done.
I think they negotiated some settlement because he was suing the league, right? He was suing the league for discrimination because he didn't get the good assignments in the postseason and such. They put him on like all-star games. So I guess they reached a settlement to stop the lawsuit, and he just said, all right, I'm just going to retire then.
And, of course, maybe his last infamous moment was connected to Wyatt Langford and the Texas Rangers.
Whoa. 2-1. And, oh, my goodness. 2-2. You have got to be kidding me. What in the world?
Dave Raymond with the call in Valley.
He was so bad. There was nothing redeeming about Angel Hernandez, the umpire. This is a great thing. Everything I said about Major League Baseball yesterday, I take back. All right, because they didn't have 8 teams playing on Memorial Day, including the defending champion World Series champion Texas Rangers were not playing on Memorial Day either. It's a crime. It's a crime against humanity,
Is
really.
that always the case?
No. Most of the time, I mean, look, there are some times where teams won't play.
Did it happen last year in September on Memorial Day, Pepe? Since, it's the same day every year.
What day? Memorial Day is always a Monday, Peyton. That's not like Valentine's Day, right? Sometimes you'll get it where there's a handful of teams that aren't playing on Memorial Day. This year there was 8. And they'll have the same thing for 4th of July. There'll be a handful that aren't playing, and every team should play.
And tonight in Arlington, a rematch of the World Series. 6:30 pregame. Rangers and the Diamondbacks, basically the exact same record, by the way. The Rangers have fallen to 4 games under. Arizona is 25-28. You'll hear it right here on your home of the World Series champs. Bobby Roberto Belt has entered the room with 2 different types of breakfast and his Dallas Stars jersey. Let's see if it's still got the Whataburger milkshake on it. And let's find out if Derek Lively is back for your Dallas Mavericks tonight. Shout out to the 6 a.m. club, our best audience of the entire show. 6 a.m. with everyone back together again finally is next.
Turn it on, leave it on with Sean and RJ right here on The Fan.
The Gafford screen against Gobert, tailed by McDaniels. Gafford! Up high, down hard, and a foul! Dagger!
Kevin Harlan with the call, Daniel Gafford with the emotion, and we are on the verge of two sweeps in the NBA Conference Finals after the Dallas Mavericks take the 3-0 lead over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Good morning, Metroplex. Everyone is together again under some stormy circumstances. Be careful. Yeah. Bobby said he raced in here this morning because we just got the emergency alert. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for this area until 6:30 for destructive 80-mile-per-hour winds. Take shelter in a sturdy building. And yesterday, my buddy's like, are you getting this hail? Are you getting this crazy hail? I think he was in Colleyville, and it was humongous. Use my hand to scale, Choppy. But it's supposed to get nasty. And Bobby, you raced in because of it?
Yeah, because I'm not
lost our TV signal.
Yeah, we well, that's what happens when you got direct TV. That's why I tell you guys YouTube TV.
Stream.
Yeah, that's true. No, this is I'm trying to avoid getting just absolutely destroyed with hail, and it's dark outside right now, so you can't totally tell.
6 a.m. That's what happens at 6 a.m.
But if you look out there, it's like it's pretty hazy, so I think we are probably getting hit with rain pretty hard right now. But we got on the radar, Sean, we got the bow echo, which is the storms are racing so fast, they literally kind of bow out and can cause straight line winds.
Is that the spikes, the red spikes?
I don't know if that's the red spikes. It's usually it's like a when you got a line of thunderstorms, if it kind of bows out in the front, that's because you got
instead of bow up, it's bow out.
Bow out. When it bows out, that's straight line winds usually are.
And this is
pounding
just
the
till
area.
6:30.
The thunderstorm warning, yes. The thunderstorm watch is until 11 a.m. per Dan Brunoff of our sister station 1080.
Oh, I was looking at some radar and it's just red for the next. I don't know. Look at this. Look at that radar. I mean, that's 7:30, 8:30, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. This is crazy.
Oh, baby.
At least our cars are inside, though.
Yes.
That's why I took the Explorer this morning,
Well,
and she's not going to complain about it. Oh, look at this. Where's this for, actually? There's a tornado warning that just popped up on my phone for somewhere. So now I got to figure out where that's for.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Where?
It just says this is the emergency alert now. Just destructive winds, 80-mile-an-hour winds right now. Take shelter.
Hey, your phone's a little bit behind there.
It is. It's still on Mexico time.
Mexico time.
That's
I think it's still just on iOS is what it is. Tornado warning for per Pete Delkus 11 seconds ago. Tornado warning for Dallas, Kaufman, and Rockwall counties.
Cool.
Pepe.
So, are we just gonna sit up here?
Yeah, I think the higher you are, we're above the tornado.
Is that what the science says?
We're above the tornado.
Choppy, I'm sure that you picked the Dallas Mavericks to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder because of the inexperience factor. What were your thoughts heading into Minnesota? And give us what you think of the series so far.
I didn't know what to think about Minnesota because I was like, all right, this is a team that completely blew it against Denver after having a 2-0 lead, but then came back out of nowhere from the dead and wound up winning this thing. I thought that the Timberwolves were probably going to find a way to win.
I had Wolves in 7.
Yeah, I thought they were probably going to find a way to win the series. I figured Dallas would beat Oklahoma City just because of the experience factor. Minnesota doesn't have a whole lot of experience either. I feel really stupid. I should have known because I didn't take my own advice with why the Mavs were going to beat OKC, and I did not put it here to Minnesota. Minnesota has no idea how to win. And, they wound up beating Denver, but they had really no experience beyond that of having to do this in a tough spot. They don't have the two best closers in the playoffs right now, and that's who the Mavs do have.
Yeah, I think that was I don't think anybody anticipated that being the same issue with Minnesota that we had with OKC, or the same question we had with OKC. Sean brought it up last week. He mentioned it as, hey, should we have more of a concern with this? Are they still trying to figure out how to win games? But I think because they got swept and had all the issues last year that they had at the end of the season, and then they came through and they beat the defending champions and they faced adversity and still bounced back and beat Denver, I think it was easy to dismiss some of it. But that's what right now it looks like, just guys who are afraid of crunch time.
I think this is the stat of the series, in my opinion. And there's a lot of them with Kyrie and Luka making all this history. The Mavericks are the first team to take a 3-0 series lead despite trailing in the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter in every game during the play-by-play era. And, of course, they started with these stats, 97-98. So, again, first team to take a 3-0 series lead ever, despite trailing in the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter in each and every game. They outscored the Wolves by 24-11 margin in the final 3 minutes of the 3 games, 24-11. That's the story of the series.
It absolutely is. There's no doubt about it.
There's a story of Boston, Indiana at the end.
Yes, there's no doubt. And that's part of what this entire sport has been based around for years. It's been A, have a superstar, but B, there's a general growing pain that you have to go through to figure out how to lose, how to win, how to play in crunch time. And it is a different animal. There is no doubt about it. The playoffs in the NBA are so different down the stretch than at any other time in the league.
And that's what Ant's going through right now, it feels like, is learning how to lose, learning how to, play.
He's better in game 3, though.
He was this deep into the postseason and all the other things. I don't know what Cat's excuse is. Cat has been around for a decade. He changed the game as the first big man to shoot threes. He'll tell you. I just, if I'm Minnesota, I'm terrified of what does this mean about Karl Anthony Towns in general moving forward, and the guy we've super maxed at this point.
Yeah. He's the one catching all the heat.
Yeah, he should.
He's the doormat of the series.
Yes, he is. And, there's times where it seems like Ant has not wanted to take shots and he's looking to get other people. And I love these getting other people involved, but, there are sometimes you just got to take over, man. But, yeah, I'm with you. What is Cat's excuse? Maybe it's just that he's not very good. Or he's definitely
not a dog.
Right.
He's a
really good player, but he's not like a guy that you count on in the playoffs.
I mean, Anthony Davis feels like he'll wilt a little bit. Not the
he
right
won't
type
go
of
full wilt. Yeah, he will wilt.
Like this was Jimmy Butler calling out Cat, right? Back in the day when Jimmy wanted out of Minnesota.
He called out Cat. Then he called out Tobias Harris. He's like, Tobias Harris over me when he was in Philly. But yeah, him and Cat would go at it. Cat's just he's a much calmer, cerebral type dude.
He's a cat. He's a kitty cat.
Yeah, he is. And you look, he's funny. Like you listen to some of his podcasts, he's a funny dude. He's got a good personality, but he's just not that killer. You need to be a killer in the playoffs.
I mean, he sat on the bench for the last, for a big chunk of the fourth quarter in game 2. They trusted Naz Reid over him in game 2.
Well, I mean,
Naz Reid is showing, there are plenty of guys in this series who are showing, toughness and the ability to make big time shots. Jaden McDaniels has done it. Naz Reid has done it for them. For Cat to just completely shrink in all 3 of these games late that's terrifying if you're a Wolves fan.
Luka and Kyrie each finished with 33. They combined for 21 in the fourth quarter on 8 of 10 shooting. Mavericks had the league's second best clutch record and the best clutch offense during the regular season. You remember last year, too unselfish. No, I want you to take it. No, you take it between Luka and Kyrie back and forth. The Mavs are 6-2 in clutch games this postseason. Of course, all the Jason Kidd questions that were there in the clutch, and they've come back in the final minutes to win their past 4 games, starting with the closeout game 6 against OKC. Kyrie had 14 in the fourth. Jason Kidd on why the two of them have worked out so well in the postseason.
Well, I think when you talk about maturity, skill set, they fit. Kai's been around the block. He's been with great players. He doesn't mind being second or 1B. You just don't find that a lot of times in this league, and understanding that he will show when he needs to show, and he's done that with Luka this season. He's patient. He's calm. His energy is in a positive place. He loves Dallas. He loves this group of guys. He's mentoring the younger guys of what it means to be a pro. So, there's a debate out there. Is this the best backcourt in NBA history? It's kind of cool. It doesn't happen all the time. It works. And for Luka, his skill set is like no other. I mean, he's pretty good too. And he's not afraid of the moment, but he's not afraid to being able to go to Kai and then understanding what he draws on the floor. You're not going to leave Luka, so that means it's a numbers game and it's 4-on-4. And in this league, offense when you're playing 4-on-4, the offense has the advantage.
Kyrie scored 14 in the fourth, fed PJ for the patented corner three. They gave them the lead for good with 3:38 remaining. Kyrie Irving has scored 31 fourth-quarter points this series. That's the most for any player in the conference finals this year. Luka ranks second in fourth-quarter scoring during the conference finals with 27.
This is why he will and has always gotten another chance. He is that good. He can play, and he can play at a high level in a big moment, not wilt around during that moment either. It was just a matter of, would he find a place he's comfortable, find a place that he has no inhibitions about being who he is, who he wants to be. He respects the people around him. He respects the coach, respects the owner, whatever.
And we just needed no Jewish movies to come out.
Absolutely. Nothing
for him to discover any obscure ones from 20 years ago or whatever it was.
And Bobby, you saw some emotion from him that kind of jumped out on Saturday.
Yeah, it's funny because I think that when you damn it. What do you want?
We got Bobby's crutch phrases.
Is that so McCarthy's is,
Yeah, mine is. It's funny, apparently.
It's funny and it's interesting. I'm gonna tally it up.
I did tell you it's interesting. I called that out myself. I'm getting a bell for you to just hit every time you hear me say it. No, this is when you watch teams along the way to the title. I feel like there's a stretch for every title team. There's a point during their playoff run where you kind of see them exert their power. They show their dominance. They kind of come to this realization of just, oh, this is how good we are. And they tend to flex it and really show the emotion of it down the stretch. Now, Luka knocking down that shot late against Gobert and then talking trash, that feels like just the moment. That like that feels like a big moment of clutch play, and you react to it accordingly. But when Kyrie comes out in the fourth quarter of game 2 and they go on that 8-0 run when they're down 7, and Kyrie hits those back-to-back three-pointers, what was it? Those were his first ones of the series? Those three-pointers he hit at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
His first one?
That's what Reggie Miller said. He said that's the first three-pointer that Kyrie's hit all series, was game 2, beginning of the fourth quarter. He hits back-to-back ones. And when he comes over and flashes that fourth quarter and he's talking trash and he's chest-bumping Luka, it just, in that moment, felt a lot to me like this is them kind of coming into this moment of realizing just how good they are. And Kyrie showing that emotion that I don't think is typical of him. And even after the Gafford slam, they had this like 10,000-foot view of the court when Gafford got the slam, and you saw Kyrie Irving just get super pumped and start like screaming towards the crowd. It feels like they're just kind of coming into this feeling of like, yeah, we're really, really good.
I just got two pretty worrisome text messages.
Oh, no.
Brian brought us 6'11", you guys okay? And I was like, whoa, are you talking about outside? And then Tolo TR said, y'all be careful, you are up high. So 2 straight weather text messages coming.
I mean, look right there. You can see like there's headlights parked. Somebody just texted in a few minutes ago, said they're parked on the tollway under a bridge right now because they can't see because it's raining so hard. But
well, look, I don't care about any, as long as I don't see a twister.
Like, yeah, and it's too dark to see it anyway.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even need, maybe you could see it coming from a lot.
Brought us, we just lost power in our neighborhood 3 miles from you guys. Oh, that'd be tremendous. I'd be happy with losing power.
I'd be happy with losing power as long as we don't lose, like, windows and life.
So right. This is apparently according to DFW.
We have a generator, right? We got a strong generator.
We have a generator here.
According to DFW's scanner, it says this tornado warning for a portion of Dallas County. Strong rotation near Garland and Richardson moving southeast. Potential tornado developing. Seek shelter now.
Let us know. Give us the weather warnings, and y'all be careful out there. 877-881-1053. Franklin Franco injury attorney text line, 877-881-1053. I wonder what one of those Dunas can fit in a storm shelter room. Is that what they're called? The Duna, the crib that folds down?
The Duna? Is that the lady